and welcome to Blue Girls podcast video. I'm going to be talking or discussing dreams in July of 2013, and this is going to be aired in December of 2022. So the first one is adoption. There was a line of men, most had a disability of some form. There was some girl pointing her finger at me, so I took her hand and adjusted it. I grabbed it kind of, and I said, "Don't point your finger at me." She asked if I was planning to have any kids, and I told her, "Not on my own. I don't want to give birth to a bowling ball." She said she already had two. There was someone who had, on Facebook, first and last name, she was a nerd, same name, Adam Sandler, who gave you a kid. I was standing in line with mainly, I think, homeless looking men. I think I was the only woman there. I don't know why I was standing in line, but there was some woman who, I could have been like my doctor. I'm not sure. She wasn't a doctor, but who put their finger in my face, accusing me of something, like right in front of my face. So I grabbed her finger and I said, "Well, don't put your finger in my face." And she was asking me in the dream, "Well, are you planning to have any kids?" Okay, so I don't think I was able to ever had kids. I had someone tell me once, this was a psychic, and this is many years ago. She goes, "Were you pregnant before?" And I said, "No." Well, she didn't ask me that. She goes, "Well, did you have surgery before?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, you were pregnant. You were supposed to have a boy." And so I've had 3 uterine polyps removed. And the first thing they ask you is you're pregnant. So anyway, I must have, me and my partner used protection. But still, anyway, so that's what she said. I don't know if there's truth to that. But anyway, I said in here, I don't want to give birth to a bowling ball. That's what my ex-sister-in-law said. That's what it's like giving birth. And so, yeah, so I don't think I could ever have children. And then I had the RH factor. Now I can't because I have a full hysterectomy. But I have I'm blood type B minus, and I had the RH negative factor, which means that the first baby will be fine, but the second baby, if my blood and the baby's blood mix, there could be some deformities. And so if I was ever to actually have a child, I would probably just have had one. So anyway, that was pretty hard for me I think that's to come to the conclusion that I would never have children. I just always felt that, and I always, thought that I would adopt. But anyway, so what's really bizarre about this thing with the Facebook is this girl from high school. This is in 2013. So many years later, it must have been 2020 or 2021. I saw this person. She lived in the same city. And I went up to her, and she didn't remember me from high school, but I remembered her. And it's the same person as it is in this entry here, this dream entry. And then, of course, Adam Sandler, I forgot what movie that was, but someone gave him a kid, and I remember saying, "Well, who gave you a kid?" So anyway, the next one is 1, 2, and 3, July 4th, 2013. Some woman smacks a woman 2 and 3 times. Okay, so anyway, I think that a woman actually smacked a guy in the dream. Okay, so the 17th, July 5th, 2013, I was at a college and some girl offered to buy me a pop for 75 cents, not this Wednesday, but the next Wednesday. This guy, therapist, basically told me that I would leave no later than July 17th and not come back, something about the ID. I wanted to meet with Tina, whoever she was, someone from my past. She was sitting there but wasn't talking. Okay, so, I've had dreams where someone's offered to buy me a pop or whatever. At the time, it's 75 cents. When I was a child, it was 25 cents. It goes way back. So this male therapist told me, that advised me to leave wherever it was. I don't know if it was a city or state and not come back. Something about the ID, which I don't know what that was about. And then I wanted to meet with Tina, someone from my past. So I don't know. Okay, bits and pieces. I was at my friend's place. He was lying down and had a cloth mask on his head. The stream was in fragments, bits and pieces, and not very clear. The yard had grass and then cobblestones. There was a stereo. He was on the phone. I guess the friend was. Well, if he had a cloth mask, and I think in real life I saw some kind of mannequin who had some kind of thing on his face. And I've had dreams of which there's a blonde-haired woman, and whatever's going on, she knows bits and pieces about the situation. And I don't know where this cobblestone is at. Business. Another vague dream, my mom was downstairs, and I remember a coffee pot, a man who made $35,000 or $48,000 a year. I told myself that's what I need, something about working once a week. There was some college guy there. As I was walking, I saw patches of fabric like at Joann's, but it was outside like a display. Okay, so I had a dream with my mom, and my mom used to, every morning she used to get up and, first things first, she would make a pot of coffee, coffee, and then she would smoke a cigarette and usually do some cleaning. I mean, the floors always smell like pine sol early in the morning. And so whatever, some guy was making $35,000 or $48,000 a year. And so I said to myself, well, that's the kind of money that I need to make. And I don't know what this is about, working once a week and fabric or whatever, Joanne or whatever. I used to do art projects, so caretaker for winter. I was at this house and someone got me and someone else a really nice phone to share, expensive. Then I was walking on the phone or outside, and I thought I should ask if anyone needs me to watch their house for the winter in Florida. One of my cousins was around. So whatever, in this dream, it was like I wanted to be a caretaker for a winter, just kind of take care of someone's place while they were gone. My youngest brother has done that. He kind of houses or house sits or whatever. And I don't know who this was. Somebody really got me a really nice phone. I don't know who that was. And so one of my cousins, my oldest cousin, was around. Construction. My high school friend was walking and there was construction and she didn't see the hole. She walked around it without knowing it. Then I showed her, I didn't know if it was a hole, but a missing part of sidewalk. She walked around it. Okay, so I remember that there was, I think this is just symbolic. There was kind of some construction going on, and to avoid the hole, I had to walk around it. And so in real life, there was some construction going on, like this is, I don't know, maybe days or weeks later, and I did have to walk around it. You know how they put the little things up and you can't walk in a certain area. But I do recall that happening. So I just think it's symbolic. It's kind of, whatever way to get around something, I had to go around something. Illegal. The same guy from the dream I told someone was sitting at a table desk, and I said, illegal. Yeah, so this guy from I told someone, he was a mean guy, and so I told someone about him. Darkness down the drain. There were these coins. I had a couple of receipts. One dropped in, and I got coins. Then another slip. I didn't want the wrong slip for a higher amount slipping on. Then there was a bath with dirty water, well water, that kids took a bath in, so the woman had my bathing suit on, and I went into the bathroom. There was some dark hair at the end, and something as it passed. I lifted myself up. The bath was an oversized tub. Then Then there was a guy who agreed to do something but backed out of it. Okay. So I remember I was somewhere and I think I was paying for something, and I don't know why I would be giving somebody a receipt, but I wanted to make sure whoever it was had the correct slip. The wrong slip of the higher amount, yeah. So I just remember this bath that had dirty water in it and some hair, whatever, after shaving. My hair, but so yeah, a guy agreed to do something. I'm not for sure what he agreed to do. He was supposed to help me out with something, but he backed out at the last moment. Dealings with family. I was at this house and just got rid of a pet. My niece came to visit or stay with me. Then she wanted to bring her friends, animal, hamster, guinea pig, and I said no. I was going to let the animal loose so she wouldn't do it again. I told her my brother tried to help me, but he didn't know what he was doing. Then my childhood friend, and my youngest brother were going to do something and leave me out of it. So I said I didn't want them in the house. It was a woman's house, so ask her. So yeah, for whatever reason, I had a pet, and I wasn't supposed to have a pet, so I had to get rid of it. Or else my niece came with me, and she was going to bring her pet, and we weren't supposed to have like a hamster or a guinea pig or whatever. And it says, well, so whatever, I think that whoever it was, the manager said, well, you're going to have to get rid of that pet. So yeah, one of my brothers tried to help me, and but he didn't know what he was doing. He's like this particular brother is a workaholic, and he doesn't really understand disabilities. And my cousin's kind of like that too. They just don't get it. Some people think, oh, like I had my big sister from Big Brother Association tell me, thought I didn't try hard enough. Well, I'm a very hard worker. Just because someone's disabled doesn't mean that they're lazy. So anyway, yeah, so I think this is about the pets. I don't think that the manager wanted any of the pets in the house. And so the special, there was a woman who gave some kid about $185 for a week special. There she didn't get a receipt. She went and talked to a guy to tell him. He said, the special paid in cash. There was some girl there that was drugged by someone and then arrested within 24 hours. Didn't know hotel number 286. Okay, 287. So I think this was me. I was staying at a hotel for like a week, and back then you could get it for like under $200. And for some reason I didn't get a receipt, and I always get receipts. And so then it looks like I went and I talked to this guy to get a receipt. So there must have been some kind of special they were having, which is kind of strange, but anyway. And then some girl, I remember she was drugged. I think she was kind of given one of those date rape pills, but I'm not sure. Board games. There were these kids that were playing some board games, wanted some more games to play. Then they were filling some kind of dirt with yellow, and this was odd. There was this robe trying used to wait for this to dry. One girl went too fast, and so they had to redo it. She was going to some shopping mall play store, and the other girl was going too. I can't remember. I don't know, this is kind of unclear. Board games. Sometimes board games are like someone's playing games, like mind games. So it sounds like they're filling some kind of construction going on with filling the dirt. Okay, so some girl did something and she did it too fast. That's what it sounds like. So it had to be redone. So yeah, whatever, it sounds like me and this other girl, or maybe ended up at a shopping mall. Seattle, Fort Lauderdale, and Boston. This girl was talking to her therapist. She mentioned how she used to love Seattle except for the rain. It used to rain every day in the winter. That's when they had hippies and it was laid back. She mentioned Fort Lauderdale as far as party. The therapist wasn't interested in anything the girl said. The therapist mentioned Cambridge and she said it isn't that a really good school near Boston. Isn't there 17 colleges around Boston area? She mentioned medicine. She would become a doctor. Then there was a bus that was going to take, I was at some girl's place. I guess I was going to take a bus the next day and I missed the 7:22 bus. She was going to take a later one. I think I overslept. Okay. So at the time, okay, this is in July of 2013. I had this therapist and she was from New York. And I don't know if she was born in New York, but I think that she was possibly from a past life. Because when I first met her, I heard the words, "I don't like you." So I don't know if it was if she didn't like me or I didn't like her. But that wasn't, it was like at this clinic. And there was another person that I met at the same clinic where I thought the same thing, a doctor or therapist or whatever it was. And so I thought that, I think for some reason, I thought it could have been like, I might have known her in a past life. You know, sometimes they say that if you have like a strong reaction to somebody, that could have been from a past life. Well, this person wasn't a good person or a good relationship in the past, it sounded like. So I mentioned that I used to love Seattle. I did. The first time I moved to Seattle was in '97. I was there for about 3 years, and I loved it there. It was the happiest 6 months of my entire life, I would say. But it rained every day. I remember people telling me, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But it says, it rains every day there, winter. And it gets cloudy, right? Or not cloudy, but, So I remember, like, coming out of my apartment, and every day in the winter, you couldn't see the sun. And it was like that. And so I was diagnosed with seasonal affective disorder. And I thought I was like cast in hell because, even though I loved Seattle, it was just like, with not having any sun, it was very strange. And then Fort Lauderdale, one of my brothers, my youngest brother, mentioned that what he picked up about Florida, he kind of can pick up things in the spirit or whatever, or whatnot. And the first word he said was party. So, and then back to this therapist, whatever, she really wasn't really interested in anything I had to say. And at this time, I only been in New York once at this time. Anyway. So, I don't know, we were talking about Boston, and at the time I never been to Boston, and there's 17 colleges or whatever around Boston. So I think she was thinking about going back to school, even though she never said that in real life. This is just a dream. So it sounds like I missed a bus. And it says 7:22, so that could be July 22nd. So I think that in this dream, I was contemplating on, destinations that I wanted to either visit or live. And I was choosing between Seattle, Fort Lauderdale, and Boston. However, this dream takes place in the Pacific Northwest. And I have never been to Fort Lauderdale. And like I said, I did go to Boston, but when this was in 2013, I'd never been to Boston. So anyway, I think that's kind of what was going on, is places I wanted to live or visit.